So, I had some difficulty trying to figure out a topic for a video for a bit now, mostly because of a small thing. I don't know if you've heard of it, Elden Ring. It's a very small game. I don't think it's that popular anyways, but I love it. It has consumed all of my existence. But, I can't really talk about Elden Ring because it's a very large fucking game and I'm not speedrunning it. So, I have maybe 75 more hours into that game. Anyways, I have been trying to think of something to talk about for a video, but I haven't really been able to until a thought came to my mind in that I've never actually talked about why I like reading manga. I mean, I have 9 bookshelves full of this shit, and yet in all of the videos that I have done, I've never once actually explained why I enjoy reading this medium. I've talked about different problems that I've had with it, different things that I enjoy about the genres of the medium, but I never actually talked about the actual medium itself. And as a result, I'm going to sort of hopefully condense that into a more digestible sort of thought process of it. So, with that all being said, the basic points that I could ever think about why I like reading manga and why I enjoy the medium of manga is a few things. One, I think I've talked about this, but if I haven't, it's quite simply because I'm colorblind. I don't know the exact medical term for it, but I'm something known as partially colorblind. I can't see shades of colors. A light green is a light green, a light blue is light blue to me. I just, if you want me to differentiate shades of colors, I can't really do that. Besides, light blue is light blue, blue is blue, and dark blue is dark blue. If you want me to get any more technical of that, all the shades just look the same to me, and I may be able to tell the difference between a blue, a light blue and a dark blue, obviously, but I would have problems in between. But there are certain other colors that I just cannot see, like lavender. The color lavender I can't see. It's just literally, my eyes just see it as a gray. I don't know. So, I don't know if this is the major reason, but most manga are, black and white, and I don't have to worry about trying to figure out certain shades of colors that are within manga because, it's all black and white. I can read one manga to the next and not have to worry about the different shadings meaning different things. Sure, characters in manga are colorful, but that doesn't suddenly mean that I have to know each of their colors and such. And if I want to see what the actual characters look like in color, I can just look at the covers, because most of the time, if they're a main character, they're going to be on the cover of the volume. And other points to be made is one that actually I think truly is why I enjoy manga over comic books is that there's not really that many changes of mangaka. When a manga artist creates their manga, when they become a mangaka and start printing and being published in magazines or self-publish, they don't change artists or writers or anything. It's a problem that I always see with the Western comics, is that every time I try to, because they always get new writers and new artists on it, it just doesn't feel as concise or as well. Trying to explain this is it doesn't feel like it's the same series, even though it's the same characters and such. And comics wise, that's why I enjoy series that are just made and written by the same person, that have a continuous story and then end and don't have any like recurring things, which is one of the reasons why I don't, even though I do enjoy Marvel and DC, it has problems with the constant changing of like how characters are, and the fact that characters don't really grow old and don't really change. And yeah, it's just a thing that I notice with that, and it's something that I find annoying in comics, to say the least. But with manga, I don't have to worry about the artist being changed, or the mangaka changing, or the writer of the story changing, because it's very consistent, the same person writing it over and over. Not saying that that doesn't happen, but for the most part, if you start a series and you finish that series, it is going to be the same person that is writing, drawing, and all of that, which I feel like makes the entirety of a series more consistent and more whole, and not, I don't know, unfulfilling, I would guess, and I was trying to say a big word, but I don't remember how to say it. Disjointed, there we go. Another solid thing is, oh man, I'm trying to think of that word, made me forget what I was going to say next. What was I going to say next? Story-wise. Like, most comics have interesting stories, to say the least. It's just that after certain points, I can read about how, you know, Bruce Wayne lost his parents and stuff, but at the same time, it just doesn't feel that interesting if I've read the same type of story written by, granted, several other people, but it's essentially the same. It is the same character repeated over and over and over again. It causes me to not want to read more of Batman comics, because I've just read the same sort of situation. I'm not saying like there isn't any good Batman comics. I've read The Killing Joke. That is a great fucking series, that great fucking comic. But if I've read like, most of the time, if you've read one Batman story, you've read a large majority of the Batman stories. Granted, like I said, there are several that are pretty good, that I would like to read, but most of the ones that I've read are kind of meh. But besides Killing Joke, I really need to read more of those. But still, it's a problem that I don't really feel like happens in manga all that much. You could have, for instance, To Your Eternity, immortal being that travels the world trying to defeat these weird creatures as well as find humanity. I would be the more interested in. Or Kaiju number 8, where it's about this 32-year-old guy that wanted to be this great hero, but turned out to be like this person that cleans up kaiju, but eventually gets powers and is just trying to live out his dreams that he had. There's Fist of the North Star, which is a post-apocalyptic story about essentially roided out dudes fighting. It's great. There are so many different other stories that are within manga that I don't feel like Western comics ever really talk about or try to do, because I don't know. Granted, I'm not saying that in manga there isn't stories that feel like I've read them, but for a majority of the time when I'm reading a manga, I just am interested in how they take what they've given themselves and go with it. What powers, what constraints that they've given to their story, and as such it becomes more interesting, because you can write a Spider-Man story repeatedly over and over again, but you are essentially using the same character and just slightly changing the situation that he's in. And I don't know, it just doesn't feel as exciting. Like, I've read so many different ones that are crazy insane with their abilities and powers and storylines, and I don't know. It just feels boring at points. But I think this is the best way they would explain it. Comics, after a while, just feels like you're treading the same water with the same characters that have been going on for 50 years. With manga, I can read a brand new up-and-coming artist or writer or mangaka that has created this new series, and sure, sometimes they flop, but sometimes they fucking rise to the top and become something far better than what you've ever hoped or dreamed for. It is quite literally unexpected every time. Well, I feel as though Western comics have started to become stagnant. That's it, really, between why I like reading comics and not comics, but manga, and have a hard time picking up new comics. Don't take this the wrong way. I do read comics, but compared to manga, nah, I read manga far more. Like, my comic section is in this little corner and doesn't even take up a full shelf down here. And I am adding 2 more comics to this shelf, but that doesn't suddenly mean that it made it, like, those 2 comics will make me feel much better about comics as a whole. So, yeah, I hope this gave you an understanding of why I enjoy reading comics and why I love fucking reading manga. And yeah, I'm gonna go back and play Elden Ring. So if you enjoyed my stupid bearded face, think about subscribing. If you want to see more of this lovely bearded face and want to see more content like this, go ahead, leave a like on this video. What are your opinions on manga and why you enjoy reading manga? And just remember that my channel is about more than manga. It's just that I have a vast, like, far more manga than I do any other form of entertainment. So that's about it. Yeah, I still don't know how to fucking end these videos. So just stay safe out there, read some manga, go play Elden Ring. It's a fucking great game. And yeah, that's it. Bye.